So yeah, we are super excited for season 6. We think it's gonna happen unless, I don't know. Everyone, welcome to the Fortress of Solitude podcast. I'm your host, Sergio Pereira, and I'm joined by a long-time guest, friend, loved one, Lois Qutob. Lois, how are you doing, sir?
What is happening? It's good to be back.
It's always great to have you on. It's like, I find like sometimes, with this podcast, we miss you, and I'm not saying it's Jared. I'm saying it's me. I don't know. I just, it's like,
well, it's good. It's good to feel wanted. And honestly, I don't think I could have asked for a better podcast to jump back onto. I am psyched for this one.
No, definitely. I mean, we've all been super excited. We're all big like Cobra Kai fans of Fortress of Solitude. Everyone knows that. We've been covering it like several podcasts already. We've covered season 5, the review of season 5. So check that out. If you haven't listened to that podcast yet, just do yourself a favor, check it out. I heard a little whisper from the analytics bird that said it was one of the top episodes, like across a lot of platforms. So everyone seems to be enjoying our discussions about Cobra Kai. So we are obviously going to do a little bit more of a deep dive now into the theories and predictions for season 6. Because, look, let's be honest here. Cobra Kai is doing so well on Netflix at the moment, and I think it's pretty much a given season 6 is on the way. I think it is.
100%.
Because, look, let's be honest here. This is not an expensive show to produce. Doesn't have like a lot of special effects. It's more practical sort of stunts, and the settings seem to be the same. It's the typical homes and it's the karate dojos, and you obviously have the cast to pay and the crew and all of that. But it's not one of those expensive sort of series where you got planes crashing into fields and superpowers, whatever. So I think it's like it's one of those nicely medium balanced sort of like shows for Netflix, which brings in a lot of viewers, and at the same time it's not that expensive to produce. So we are super excited for season 6. We think it's gonna happen unless I don't know, Netflix decides to cancel it for what's that show? The Circle. Yeah, The Circle. That's the one where like all those people inside there and like they're all like catfishing each other. I'll be honest.
The amount of like random what is this dated and related? I don't even click on it, man. I don't even know what's happening with some of these reality shows, dude.
Yeah, no, like I was just like thinking that show Date and Relate is going to be terrible for SEO because you're going to get the wrong results. That's definitely something. It's like I think it's the wrong search engine that people are searching for there. Yeah, I mean, we're super excited obviously for Cobra Kai season 6, and a lot of things happen in season 5, which it leaves a lot of little threads to unravel. I mean, the first one I want to get into is like, it's a character which he's annoyed me. He's annoyed me since season 4, actually. Like at first I wasn't as annoyed, and I mentioned this to Jared before, but I am super annoyed by him like after season 5. It's Keene. Keene is the most annoying character on Cobra Kai. But he's not bad Keene anymore, because now basically Cobra Kai is like, he's walked away. He's thrown his like apparel at Terry Silver, and he's walked out. Robby's tried to make friends with him. But, he looks very disappointed at the end of the season. He's sitting there, leaning there looking forlorn because, my karate dojo is a scam.
It's a sham,
And you kind of look at that and you say, what is going to happen with this character? I mean, he's been bullying Anthony LaRusso, or Anthony Lapusso as he calls him, and which I just think, like, I'll be honest, that's one of the best like insults on the show, because that is something like straight off a playground. And I'm wondering, what do you think is going to happen with Keene in season 6? Do you think him and Anthony are going to be friends? Do you think he's going to join Miyagi Fang or Miyagi Do, or whatever it's going to be called now in season 6?
Before I answer that, I want to ask you, would you rather your playground bully hit you with Lapusso or penis breath? Which one is worse?
I don't know, because like both of those names, like they feel like, the thing is on a playground, I think everyone knows it. It's like you've got several nicknames that you cannot tell your parents about. Everyone's got several nicknames for themselves, their friends. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because like, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, can I phone a friend? Can I phone a friend?
You can phone a friend. All right. So back to Keene. I think what I found quite not surprising, but a little bit, is his like, you know, a lot of the characters, they kind of, you always feel that their mentality is a little on the fence somewhere. There's like a sliver of them that's like, you know, not 100, like a little bit of doubt in the eyes. So whether it's, I don't know, whoever, a lot of the Cobra Kai students, it's always at some point, am I doing the right thing? And no, I think I am. But this kid is like 100% drinking the Kool-Aid, man. He was like, I am Cobra Kai till I die. Like Robby was his mentor. You know, he doesn't even like flicker. He's just like, nope, screw you. And so I was a little annoyed as well because I thought, like, you know, this kid, like, he's got no critical thinking abilities. He's just sitting there drinking the Kool-Aid.
But it's so true. Like, he actually feels like an 80s character. Like, you know, the original Karate Kid movies. Like, the original Karate Kid movies, like with Johnny Lawrence and like Mike Barnes. Like, they were just presented as like, this is the bad character. Like, there was no redeeming quality.
100%. That's It's like there was not even a flicker.
Yeah, Kenny's just like, it's changed. It's like, it's not even a case like, oh wait, I'm feeling a little bit bad about what I'm doing. It's something like, oh, I'm a bullied kid and I become bad, and that's it. Like, there was just no nuance in like the character, the way he just changed, and that's the thing. Like, it feels brainwashed. He really does. But yeah, go ahead, as you were saying.
Yeah, so I think with him it's going to be, because at the end of season 5, spoiler if you haven't seen it, he doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to get into it right now. I think he's feeling confused, embarrassed, shame, and he's kind of questioning because he bought into it so hard. It was everything to him. It became as part of his identity, that being challenged and now that reality breaking in front of him, it was a lot to deal with, and he's not ready to get into it. So I think there will be some kind of exploration into him figuring out, like, how do I still stand up for myself in a different way? You know, what else is there other than, you know, no mercy, which is kind of similar to what a lot of the other kids have gone through, you know, back and forth, like Robby as well. I think there'll be an element of it. I don't know how much screen time it'll get, but there'll have to be some kind of focus on it.
The one thing that like surprises me the most, and it happened with season 5, and kind of the way that it ends, you know, with the dojo and all the kids walking out. It's a little bit hypocritical of them, though, because, you know, Kreese and Silver, they basically taught these kids from the get-go that, you know, you need to do whatever it takes to survive. Like, to be a winner, you have to take it, basically. And, like, it was by any means necessary. And technically speaking, by, you know, Silver cheating and doing all those things, it's no different than what he's been teaching the kids, but the way they react, oh no, we can't be part of this dojo. What have you been doing the rest of the time? Like, bullying other kids? Like seriously, where is your moral compass? Like, do you have a magnet next to it, or what's going on? Because he's nuts. It doesn't make any sense. Because, like, honestly, like, you've seen what they've been doing. You've seen a Cobra Kai. I mean, somewhere deep down, you can see, like, okay, they're breaking people's knuckles in the dojo, like by doing things. You kind of know something is amiss here. These people have like got the values of like, well, you know what, we've got to do whatever it takes to survive, and sometimes that means breaking the rules to survive and doing it. And it's not like they didn't know in the tournament when they were like sweeping legs and doing certain things that were slightly illegal. They know that was illegal, and now they're like, oh no, we can't be part of this. You know, he's deceived us. Come on, are you for real? Like, have you not seen what he's doing? It's
a bit of a double edge there.
But speaking of which, now this brings me to the next point. Cobra Kai, obviously, it's the name of the show.
Yeah.
The dojo now, Silver is gone. He's arrested. Of course, we don't know how long he's going to be in jail for, because let's be honest, he's got a lot of money, probably got a high, powerful lawyer. He'll get away.
Yeah.
Who's going to take over the dojo?
See, this is what I wanted to talk about, because first of all, can I say I fell for, not completely fell for, but I half believed the dramatic turn of events in the jail with Kreese. You know, I half believed it.
I told Jared this already.
I half believed it.
The main character like that gets killed before the intro. It's a fake out. It is a fake out.
You know why I thought? A good point. You know why I kind of believed it is because there was a little bit of a full circle where he had kind of been remorseful about his past with Johnny and with the therapist and all that stuff. And it seemed like he had come to peace with certain things. And I thought, like, maybe, is the actor not able to? Is he got other commitments? Like, what's happened? They've run out of ideas as to what to do with him. How can they just kill him off like that? Maybe he's a tragic character and they're going to go for something hectic. So I half believed it, and I was like, no, man. And they cut away so fast. I thought, no, man, there's something isn't right. So when he came around, I was like, there we go. That sounds like the Kreese I know. And I think what I'm excited to see is kind of what role he will now play, because with his sort of growth, we've seen many times where Kreese has kind of opened up to his soft side a little bit, but he very quickly goes back to completely locking around it as like stone cold evil, Like he doesn't let it out for very long. So I don't know if he's going to come in and build some kind of reformed Cobra Kai that's still badass, but maybe a little more honest. I'm not sure if he's got that in him. It's more fun when Kreese is always an asshole. And is it will it be a Cobra Kai that maybe Johnny can be proud of, or is it something that he could stand by again? Because at the end of the day, I'm wondering how the show is going to come full circle and still pay homage to the name, because the show is Cobra Kai. And with it being disbanded, how do we get back to it? You can't like leave it out and then, there's no more, and then we'll just still call the show Cobra Kai. It needs to somehow play into it. So I'm not entirely sure what role Kreese will play. I think he'll definitely kick up some dust, but might be on the slightly reformed side. What do you think?
Well, I think it'll be difficult for Kreese to take over Cobra Kai for one reason. He's basically a fugitive of the law at the moment.
That's also a fair point.
Even though Stingray has obviously changed his testimony and he's kind of exposed the truth, Kreese still ran out of jail. So like, it's like there's a problem. He can't exactly go into the light and show everyone that he's there. The other thing we're not considering here is like, Terry Silver spoke about Cobra Kai going global. So he obviously was a businessman and he must have got investors and all of that. So the possibility is that he might be ousted, but the investors are going to want to still try and make something out of it. Yeah. And this is where I think that the show could go in different sort of directions. And I have two theories here. A lot of people say, maybe one of the characters, one of the senseis like from season 5 might come back and host it. But I don't think so, because those senseis were kind of all involved with Silver as well. So, they've always got negative connotation. Investors will want a clean sweep. We haven't seen two characters effectively from the Cobra Kai series. The Karate Kid series.
Yes.
The first one is Hilary Swank's Julie Pierce.
Now, no way. Yeah, that was Karate Kid. What is it? 3? No, Kicks Back.
No, the next Karate Kid. The next Karate Kid.
The next Karate Kid. There we go. That's what it was called. The next Karate Kid.
I have a theory that she possibly could be coming in, and they could maybe have the whole angle of her reforming Cobra Kai.
Huh.
What do you think?
Tell you what, I'd buy into that, dude. That sounds awesome, because I watched the next Karate Kid. Obviously, like as a kid, it's been many years since I've seen it.
Yeah.
So hell yeah, dude. I'd be super. The thing is, like, Cobra Kai's got this thing of always even like Mike Barnes now, it's always bringing in. They're managing to get the next person, and as it rolls, I think it's easier to convince some of the old stars to come through. And
Hillary obviously is a major actress as well, so that's amazing. Yeah.
I wouldn't put that off the table at all.
I think that she could basically be coming in as somebody to reform Cobra Kai, because I think that's the next angle they need to go in. Like, let's make Cobra Kai like a legitimate dojo. Let's make it a legitimate sort of thing that we're not, hanging on to the past and all the stuff, all the karate wars. They could do that. The other one is if like Cobra Kai wants to do a full heel turn here and make sure that Cobra Kai is the most hated dojo around, is bringing Jaden Smith. Think about it, like Cobra Kai, because I mean, we had Karate Kid, like the Karate Kid. Obviously, he was part of that movie, which should have been called the Kung Fu Kid. Will Smith is actually a producer of Cobra Kai as well, and he's a producer of that. So the rights are obviously they're still there. So I know they've said no, it's not technically part of the same universe, but they could imagine Jaden Smith comes in as like the new sensei at Cobra Kai. Imagine the uproar. Imagine how Cobra Kai is going to instantly become like the most hated dojo around, even by the fans.
Oh, that is brilliant, dude. It's just like super meta. It's super meta as well. Oh,
and that'd be great. But yeah, so look, for me, I think that the ownership of Cobra Kai is going to be a huge topic for season 6. I doubt the dojo. The other option is, it could be like now with all these investors and stuff like that. Think about it this way. Daniel and Johnny don't have a name for the new dojo. They're not sure. What if the investors approach Daniel and say to him, well, you know what? You guys have been fighting with Cobra Kai all of these years. Why not make this in your vision? You can change the name, the connotation of that name, into teaching better karate or teaching, Miyagi-Do through Cobra Kai. And I mean, he'll be conflicted at first, like, oh, what? But it could be the way to get Daniel and basically Johnny running Cobra Kai, and complete the journey of like how this was like this dodgy dojo, like from the 80s, 70s, whenever Karate Kid was around. And you got this like this dojo that was like teaching people the wrong things. Daniel went there, he got his ass handed to him. There were like all these like questionable characters running around, and he's been fighting this war with it. Now imagine he actually becomes the head of it, and he's like, well, you know what? I can actually change everything now. I can change everything from within. So I can end the legacy of Cobra Kai making something better.
I think that's like, whether it's this season or next season, I feel like that's a super believable way to go about it because it's poetic and it goes full circle. And at the end of the day, it's kind of like to take down one's opposition, the ultimate way to do it is from the inside. Yeah. And it is something I've been thinking about, and I think it would still be a combined venture between Johnny and Daniel. It's super cool, and I think it would be really interesting to see how Daniel would approach it, and to see that kind of back and forth. And does that mean then that the idea of no mercy disappears, or does it get kind of reimagined to kind of mean something else? There's all kinds of questions, around that.
No, personally, I think that it could be an angle to go because, as you say, it's like, and as we said, it's like Cobra Kai is the name of the show. Yeah. And people are going to expect to see some form of Cobra Kai. I mean, they are going to the tournament in Japan, if I'm not mistaken, I think in the next season. I think that will be like one of the main story threads. It will probably be like the entire season is them preparing to go there. We might see them perhaps like exploring Japan more as well, kind of going to like, a little bit more about Mr. Miyagi, like finding out more about his life. I think that could be a possibility.
That's a huge thing, actually. Yeah, that's a huge thing I wanted to like throw as a prediction and something that I would have liked to see. Because we saw Daniel return to Okinawa, but we haven't seen the kids experience it firsthand. And I think something like this would be super sick in ahead of the Seikai, which I think is the name of the tournament. With that being said, does that mean there will be no presence of a Cobra Kai there? Because it's been dismantled.
It could be. Yeah, the tournament, sorry, it's a Seikai Taikai. That's the
other way around.
The thing is, it's like, it's a good point, but it could be because, I mean, look, the Karate Kid Part 2 effectively took, Daniel to Okinawa. That was the whole journey. There were like, Kreese was in the beginning where he got his knuckles bloodied, and then that was it. Like, then the rest of it was basically the story between Daniel, like obviously Mr. Miyagi, Sato, and obviously Chosen. They were all there in the Karate Kid part 2. And what's her name as well? Kimiko as well. She was also in it.
Yes.
So they had that whole story there, and now it's like it could be going back there, like you say, because I mean they are tying up a lot of loose ends. They are doing things. He's been to Okinawa again, but it could be possible. I think it's a very good theory. But I have another question for you now. And this is something which I found was quite interesting with season 5, but season 5 became less about the kids and it became more about the adults. It became more about Johnny and Daniel's like sort of like woes, also Chosen, Terry Silver played a big part of it. And the kids kind of had like peripheral sort of roles in this past season. It makes you wonder because like Robby and Miguel, they've kind of like, resolved the issues. The love angles have kind of been like resolved as well. What is next for them? What is next for Robby and Miguel? Like, I mean, they are two main characters, obviously, of Cobra Kai as well. But what is next for them? What is there left for them to do in the series?
I was wondering the same thing because it seems like all the path of growth. I mean, I also expected, you had mentioned with Jared in the season 5 review that kind of you were hoping for more out of, Miguel's relationship with his father and that whole storyline. And I thought there was a lot of potential there, but it kind of was didn't fall flat, but it was like a little underwhelming, I would say. And so I don't know where there is left to grow. I don't know if they become mentors. I don't know if that's the next thing that that they are going to try and do. And maybe then it's about how Robby unlocks Kenny. And how he raises him back up and gets him to trust him. And so maybe it's that kind of thing of getting the next generation of teachers. I don't know.
It's a possibility. I mean, they obviously the whole senpai sort of like root for them, and that could be the thing. But yeah, it is. I do wonder like what is going to happen with them, because they obviously have been a huge part of it. But even for example, Hawk being like the one to go forward. I mean, Hawk's like arc as well has also been very interesting, because I found him a little bit irrelevant in season 5. He wasn't really doing much. Like, I mean, compared to the Hawk this season.
Yeah, he had an amazing one on season 4 at the end. It was really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I think like now is just, he became a little bit bland. He became a bit vanilla in season 5, to be honest. So I'm hoping something interesting happens there. I hope they figure out like something cool to do with the kids as well. It would be nice to turn the focus there. Because look, I understand why they did it. I mean, this season was all about dealing with the demons, like demons of the past. There's Terry Silver and what, the psychological damage that he did to Daniel and everyone else. Yeah. Daniel wanted to, but it makes sense. It's a very personal, it ties back into the main series. But there needs to be something done with the kids as well to bring them back. And I think probably with the whole aspect of the tournament, maybe it is about them discovering, like a different place, taking them to Okinawa and, filming the season there, maybe them figuring out stuff and because I think that would be a really cool angle actually to have them somewhere different as they prepare for the tournament, like a month-long vacation effectively, or like training camp.
Do you know what would be cool actually is like in Allegiance with that is that they rock up and that the level, like how like in the Jaden Smith's Karate Kid or Kung Fu Kid, he gets the crap kicked out of him. It's like if they had to have some kind of they're out and about and they're exploring and they meet some bullies or whatever, and they're like, no, we can do this, and the level is so much higher because they're supposed to be the best that the Valley has to offer.
Yeah, but what if the Valley's not good enough?
And the level is just so much higher than them, and that realization of like, oh, we thought we were something, snap, we have some work to do. I think that could be really cool as well, just to completely change the stakes.
No, definitely, and I think that's a pretty good angle. Like, it would be really cool to kind of see that they've been so so self-involved in this whole Valley karate war, like with 2 feuding dojos, and meanwhile these dojos are nothing on the big scale, like the rest of the war. Like everyone's like, wow, you guys suck, like your crane kick, my roundhouse kick, or like, oh, your crane kick any day of the week. So yeah,
that's amazing.
I think it'll definitely be interesting to see that. It would be cool. I mean, I think tied to that as well, Chosen and Chosen's romance, obviously his revelation and his feelings, they'll play a big part. I think that'll be really cool. I would like to see Chosen return again, because he was such a great character.
Yes, dude, he's brilliant. And actually, my favorite scene, combat scene in the whole season was Chosen versus Silver. Favorite.
Oh, that was
by far that was my favorite. That whole great, he had the katana and he had the I think they're called sais, that Okinawa that's like almost like forks, and that was brilliant, man. Like the stakes were so high there. It was really cool to watch, like badass v badass. I don't know how much of Silver we'll see next season. I would be sad not to see much of him. I mean, it would make sense that we don't, just for a while, but I would be sad as well, just because he's so watchable, man. He's just
a great villain. Yeah,
he's a brilliant villain, dude. He's got the slick back hair and he's got the connections. Whereas like Kreese is kind of like a brawler. This guy's like a chess player, and it's just like, oh man, it's brilliant to watch. Different threat.
No, but look, I think there's a lot of directions to take for the next season, and I think it'll be interesting to see, because in a way, like the way like season 5 ended, it could end there. I mean, the series could end there technically. Like, okay, Kreese is like free and he just disappears. Like no one knows where he goes, and they're just preparing for another like karate tournament. But it seems like the Valley's safe from Cobra Kai, so they could end it there. But like, what is the next installment of this arc? How are they gonna grab us again? What are they going to do? And I think a possibility also is that maybe Miguel's dad does come back is another thing. I'm thinking, he goes to America, or he tries to connect with him or something, like when he finally realizes who Miguel is. I think that could be could be a big possibility. And he could come and create like drama, especially with Carmen and Johnny about to have a baby as well. And like Johnny's not going to take his crap. Like Johnny's going to kick his ass. And you know that. But now the thing is, like, obviously they don't reveal like enough about Miguel's dad, like, you know, what he actually like does, and they reveal a little bit, so he's obviously a bit shady, and like
he's
what
dangerous.
sort of so what sort of thing is like, you know, because Johnny's he's not going to like stand out, we know that, so he'll always go fight every single time, but like what if this is like almost like a threat that's too big, you know, like this is like a threat that's like, you know what, this isn't about a karate tournament where they're going to send people to beat you up, it's like we're going to send people to kill you. So
can you imagine that, like, kind of Miguel's dad rocks up, tries to kind of fix things with him, and as he's starting to get somewhere, he's like, you know, I want to introduce you to one of my business partners, and he like gets Silver out or something like that. Like,
that could be a good angle. I could actually see that happening. That's actually a really clever angle. I didn't give it any thought. That's actually very, very good, because Silver's dodgy and Miguel's dad's dodgy. Like, what if they actually do?
Dude. Yeah, they could be in cahoots.
That's a good point. And yeah, I mean, maybe Mark Barnes will also come back. I hope he does. I really enjoyed
I hope he gets his furniture store.
Yeah, sure, man. Like, I mean, like, you know, Joshua Door for him, like, he needs to go like somewhere like back to Russell's or Joshua Door, like, you know, he's living the dream, man. So like let the dude just enjoy his life. The bad boy of karate is reformed, so let him like live his life and just, you know, enjoy his furniture. I do have a question though.
Yeah,
what is Chosen going to do with the couch that he bought from like Mike's store? Because when we bought the couch, he's
just sitting at Daniel's house.
He's going to Okinawa. Is he just going to leave it there? Like, is it going to be like a sleeper couch for him there? What? Like, I don't know. Like,
I hope that they give a lot of, like, I hope that they give a little bit of effort to that continuation and make it a part of like him. Just even if it's a small scene of him just like having to pay import duties for the thing.
I'm sitting there like with a couch, like actually at the checkout counter. I'm taking this. Like, no, sir, you need to like, you know, this needs to be checked in differently. You can't do it. No, like, I'm not taking it.
Imagine like he's got a more traditional kind of home in Okinawa, and he just has this couch that looks so out of place there. You get someone to come in. No, sit here.
That's amazing. Well, but yeah, man, it's been fun chatting to you about obviously some of the season 6 predictions and theories for Cobra Kai. We've gone on quite long enough, I think. So it's been really cool. And I mean, obviously to everyone else out there, you know, what are your theories and predictions? I mean, to everyone else who's watching, I presume a lot of people, especially big time Cobra Kai fans, they probably like binged it in the first day, a little much like we did. So yeah, you just let us know. Go to the comment section down below and let us know, what do you think is going to happen in season 6? Do you think some of our theories and predictions are spot on? Do you think they're way off? What are your theories and predictions? And obviously, as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And Lois, once again, it's been great having you. We'll definitely catch up again soon. We'll be back on again, like more regularly. I think we need to do that. Like, I think I'll leave and get you on. It's fine. We'll let you just have fun. And yeah, to everyone else out there, again, thanks for listening and thanks for tuning in, and take care, stay safe, and catch you on the flip side.